Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's projects are for Wild Whisper. This time around I chose to use the products on my traveler's notebook, which is my favorite way to document my everyday. To starters, I chose some watercolor paper that was cut into two rectangles to fit into one spread of my traveler's notebook. Um, Using archival ink, I picked the branch image from the Rooted Love collection stamp set, and I just went and created a large cluster of the branches on the top right corner of one of the pages. I just wanted to resemble the trees around my neighborhood at this time of the year. They just bare, completely bare, but only have these little flowers budding at the end. So I went and, like I said, created a cluster on the top right side of the page, and then using the same step, I created another smaller cluster on the opposite side of the page, and then just added a few little tips, the end tips of the branches to the corners of the pages. Next thing I did is I went and picked I have three stamp sets: the Focus on You, the No Place Like Home, and the Rooted Love collection. I just went and picked the smallest of the flower stamps and used them to add flowers to some of the ends of the branches. As you can see, I'm using archival ink for all of this, and I switched in between. There was different flowers to end the stamping of the flowers. The Rooted Love collection has this tiny little branch in their set that has these three little buds in the tip of the branches, and it's really small. So I use that to just recreate the small little buds at the tips of the branches in this time of the year. So using archival ink, I just went and I just carefully had to place them, since it's a free stamp and you have to make a match to the branch. So I just went and carefully stamped the tips of the branches. And you're gonna see that I add some also after the flower, so as if like it's continuing the branch. Now I went to pull some of the magenta inks from my stash. I have some from Hampton Arts. So using a water brush, I just went and started adding some color to the flowers. I was not being detailed and adding the color. I just wanted to add a little bit of color, make it look messy, as I wanted to keep a lot of the attention on the pictures, but I wanted just a hint of color in the trees, in the flowers, sorry. So once I got that done, you're gonna see me that I add a lot of water to the ink, and I just splatter around the tips of the branches. It just looks nice and adds a little bit more color. It makes it messy. So once I got this done, I put it aside to dry, and my next thought was to put a title to this. Not a title, but what was it about? And it's about spring. So I pulled out of my stash the alpha set from the Crepe Paper Oasis collection, and I just built the word spring in this stamp. And the same thing, using archival ink, I just went and stamped it under the large cluster of branches on the right side of the page. I knew I was gonna put the picture on the left side. So until all the ink dried, I went ahead and pulled some of the leftover cards from the Rooted Love collection. I love this collection because it has this wood grain paper on it, and I knew that it was gonna work perfect as a layer behind the picture that I have of this little flower that in my neighborhood. So I just went and cut it to the size of the picture. I think the picture is around 2.5 by 3. It's a really small picture, but it was enough for the spread. So I just taped the little piece of cardstock behind it and tape it to my traveler's notebook page. Then I also had cut this little banner from one of the Project Life cards. And this time it came in handy. I was able to stamp the date on it and tape it to the underneath the picture. Um, Next, I just wrote some sentences about, how everything is being reborn again around my neighborhood. It was starting to look nice, how much I love it. And it was about time because we had so much snow this year. So I just added that. And once that it was finished, the stamp set in the Rooted Love collection has these little ink splatters in it. So I just used an archival ink. I just put a little bit splatters around where my writing was. I just let it, I just set it to dry for a little bit because I wanted to make sure that it was really, well dried before I glued it to my traveler's notebook. And, maybe 5 minutes or so, I went ahead and just using my small glue tape, I just glued it to the page. And just to accent a little bit, I went and pulled one of the cork hearts that I had from Spiegel Mom Crafts, and then just wrote a little note that said what is happening in my neighborhood. And now you're gonna see the close-ups of what the page looks like, and I'll see you back in 2 minutes with the next spread. Hello again. Okay, for the next spread that I created, usually around this time of the year, because the weather's starting to be nice, we're fortunate to live really close to the riverbank. We always take walks in our neighborhood. So, since everything's starting to be green and I have plenty of scraps from the Rooted Love collection, I went and pulled this green paper. It looks like wood grain. So I just cut it to fit into again, 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, which is the size of one of the pages on my traveler's notebook. And I just glued it to the page. And then I went to the Project Life cards from the Rooted Love collection and found this card that had these little rhomboid shapes to the side of the card. And I thought it would actually work really well in this spread since the lines are going vertically. So I pulled the Rooted Love stamp set, and it also has the same image. So, if you haven't seen the collection, it actually is rich in like wood colors, and also has this combination of greens and teals in it. So I just pulled again the inks and used the stamp to stamp the border of the page using teal and olive colors ink. And then I just drew lines and wrote these lengthy journal lines about how my son has asked for a dog, and we bought one when he was 10 years old, and now he's 16, how he grows with it. And I've taken this picture many times, so I just wanted to remember that. Then I used the wood veneer from the adventure set just to put the word adventure under the picture. That's all it took to decorate that side. And then again, I went into the Rooted Love collection, pull out the ink splatter stamp, and there's also this love stamp in it, and just stamped it on the journal side of the page. I also used the bird stamps, and using the colors of the ink and the rhomboids, I just stamped 2 of the birds, one on top of the word love and one at the bottom, just to frame the journal somehow. And then I pulled out one of the cork hearts and completed the page. And here are the close-ups. I hope you like it, that you see a different way to use the products. And don't forget to visit the store to pick up all of this and the many other things they have. See you next time.